Yeah, in the original Book of Mormon, what we today call 2 Nephi chapter 30, verse 6, was made a prediction that the descendants of the Lamanites would become white and delightsome in the latter days, particularly upon their acceptance of the Christian gospel. This sort of transformation actually occurred throughout the Book of Mormon account. The descendants of Lehi, the original founders of one of the Book of Mormon civilizations, were all white, and those who followed the son known by the name of Laman and his brother Lemuel and a few others basically were cursed by God with a dark skin. And the promise was held out to them that if they would return to the ways of the Lord, then they would once again become white. And that happened throughout the 1,000-year history at various points when Lamanite individuals or groups of people converted to Christianity, and then they took upon it themselves, or took a lighter skin, or got a lighter skin as a result of God's intervention, I would presume. In the passage that appears in the first Book of Mormon, the statement is they'd become white and delightsome, not just in the times of the Book of Mormon, but in the latter days. Interestingly, in 1840, Joseph Smith edited the Book of Mormon, making some changes. He'd done that previously in 1837, and this was the third edition of the Book of Mormon. And one of the passages he changed was the prediction that the descendants of the Lamanites would become white and delightsome. Where it previously said white, he substituted the word pure. And this indicates perhaps that Joseph Smith was having second thoughts about the racial ideology that appeared there. Maybe he was questioning it because it wasn't happening, for example, when Indians were converting to the church. Or maybe he was recognizing the inadequacies of his original account and its racist implications. I'm not sure why he changed it, but he did.
Original Book of Mormon, you can see every detail, and this was a gift for the church. One non-member have this book and give the book to the church.
And intriguingly, that change would be lost to history for about 140 years. The reason it was lost to history is because there was another edition of the Book of Mormon published the subsequent year in England in 1841. And because of various struggles and difficulties within the church, it was that 1841 version that became the model for the subsequent versions of the Book of Mormon published later in the 19th century. It wasn't until 1981 when church leaders were reviewing the Book of Mormon and once again editing it to make some changes, that this change was restored. And in 1981, 2 Nephi chapter 30, verse 6 was changed once again to read pure and delightsome. Again, it was interesting in the timing of this. Previously, only 20 years before, Spencer W. Kimball had proclaimed in General Conference that Navajo children were turning white upon adoption of Mormonism.
Of modern homes, of shiny cars on smooth highways, of fancy stores in noisy city canyons. But there are quiet, lonely canyons in America, too. The Navajos do not live in villages as do other tribes, but in lonely hogans under a butte or on the plains. Because of the isolated region, homes have been built of materials at hand. On the barren plains, the hogans are often cone-shaped, for here there are few tree trunks to serve as poles, and the supporting framework must be simple.
Whether their conversion was the cause of any observable change, or if maybe intermarriage or changing location might be a better explanation. Whatever, the church leaders were questioning it and once again restored the change that Joseph Smith had put.
a region that molds life into primitive simplicity. In this country of canyons and of plains live a proud and aristocratic people, the Navajos, an ancient race who call themselves the people.
So one of the interesting lessons that comes out of this is that what we see in the text of the Book of Mormon is in part a product of the politics of the time. It's also something that church leaders have felt could be changed over time. And of course I could think of a few good additional changes they might work on for the next time. But you know, those changes can be and have been done.